Hello class, I'm going to try and go through today's problems so that we can understand how to find the correct solution and what kind of relationship between the angles is going on. So our first question is estimate the measurement of x. Well, this is x right here. And if you remember from the notes, a straight line here are two supplementary angles. They add up to 180 degrees. So to find out how much x is, what we're going to do is take 180 degrees and subtract this angle, which is 132. Well, let's just do that quickly. We get 48 degrees. So x is 48 degrees. Oh, that's kind of messy. Let me erase that and write in 48 degrees. So it says in a complete sentence describe the angle relationship in the diagram. So all you're going to write is 132 degrees plus x is equal to 180 degrees. That's all we're doing. And drawing an equation, we're just taking those words and putting it into an equation. So 180 is equal to 132 plus x. Please rewind if I went too fast on the previous problem. And all these problems, just go back and rewind so that you can listen carefully to the explanation. And this next problem has three angles involved. We have 3 times x. We have this angle, which is a right angle, which, if you remember right, a right angle is 90 degrees. And then this angle, which is 2 times x. So you can see if all three of them added together forms a straight line. So they all add up to 180 degrees. So I'm gonna skip this part up here, and I'm just gonna write the equation 180 equals 90 plus 3x plus 2x. Well, if you remember from our equivalent expressions, what we're going to do here is we're going to combine these like terms. So we have 5x plus 90 equals 180. And then what we do is solve for x. Just like before, we'd take away 90 to make that to 0, take away 90, and we're left with 90 is equal to 5 x's. Well, once you find the x's, then you can figure out what 3 times x is for this angle up here, and 2 times x for this angle over here. Okay, class, here we go. Example number 2. It wants us to describe the angle relationships in the diagram. So we know that x and y, see how they're on a straight line? X and y are supplementary. And I'm going to use an abbreviation because I'm running out of room there. And 144 and x are also supplementary, because these add up to a straight line. And the last relationship I see is between 144 and y. 144 and y are vertical angles. So using those relationships, I can find the value of x and y. First, I'll find the value of y. Since y and 144 are vertical angles, well, I know that y is equal to 144. Oh, that's easy enough. The next thing I also know is what I set up here was x and y are supplementary. So that means they equal 180 degrees. But now I know that y is 144, so I'm just going to figure out x plus 144. So how do I solve for x? Well, just like we did so many months now, we just take away 144 from each side. And x would be the difference of 180 and 144. So this next problem is asking us a few different things. It says it wants us to solve for x right here. It's a solve for x. And we need to write an equation from the angle relationships. Well, let's see what we have here. I know that 85 degrees right here is vertical to 3x plus 16. So 3x plus 16 are vertical to 85 degrees. Well, that means they're equal. So down here we have 3x plus 16 is equal to 85. And I know I keep on saying it, but we're just going to do what we've been doing for months. Take away 16, take away 16. Now we're left with 3x's is equal to 69. So once you find out the answer, you just solved for x. And the relationship you used was that these 85 degrees was vertical to 3x plus 16. So class, we're going to look at example 3. Example 3 is talking about three angles. Angle GKE, which is this angle right here, GKE, and an unknown angle EKF, and an angle that's 135 degrees, which is JKF. Well, the first thing I have to do is identify that this is 90 degrees. That's what that little box is saying, that angle is 90 degrees. So if I want to write a complete sentence to describe the angle relationships, if I want to answer this question right here, what I want to do is notice that this angle plus this angle plus this angle, that forms a complete circle, which means that angle GKE angle, and we use that angle symbol, E, K, F, and the last angle, angle G, K, F, R, and I'm going to use an abbreviation, exemplary. That means they add up to 360 degrees, all of them, because that forms that circle. So if we want to write an equation, well, we know this angle is 90 degrees. This angle is 90 degrees, so we say 90 degrees plus, and we don't know this angle, so we call it x, and then the last angle is 135 degrees, and all that adds up to 360 degrees. Well, the first thing we want to do is add 90 and 135, and if we do that correctly, we should get that it equals 225 degrees, and that still is equal to 360. So to figure out angle x, we take away 225 from both sides, and that will be our answer once you figure it out. Our next problem has a lot going on here. It has an angle that's 135 degrees, another angle that's 59 degrees. This angle is 167, and this one, it says it's x plus 1. So that's our expression. So if we want, what's the relationship of all the degrees, of all the angles? All the angles are exemplary because they add up to 360 degrees. So if we're going to find the measurement of this angle right here, we need to make an equation. So let's start off with our constants. This is 103 degrees plus, the next one's 59 degrees plus, and the last one is 167 degrees. Now, our unknown here is x plus 1. That's the final thing that we need to figure out. But we do know that all that is equal to 360 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these constants together first so I can simplify it, so I can really look at what I'm doing. 103 plus 59 plus 167. And if I add them up correctly, I think I should get 329 degrees. And let's not forget, we're still adding this expression to come up with 360 degrees. So let me erase all my work here. And let's see. Okay, I just pulled it up so that all I got is my equation right there ready to solve. And the last thing, we have two more constants to add here, 329 and 1. So we're going to add 329 and 1, which is 330, plus an unknown, is that still equal to 360 degrees? Well, you know what we're going to do next. We're going to take away that 330 from both sides, and we're left with that x is equal to 30 degrees. But we're not done, because that last angle said that it was x plus 1 degrees. So we know that x is 30, so our final answer for the angle that's missing, which is angle G, angle GAH, well, that's going to be 30 plus 1, or 31 degrees. That's our missing angle. Okay, class, we got a different situation here. We have two adjacent angles that said the ratio between the two of them is 2 to 1. And if we want to look at it this way, one is x and the other one's 2x. So 2x degrees plus x degrees, what's that going to equal? Well, they're supplementary, right? Because we're on a straight line. Here's a straight line right here, and it's gonna be equal. So they equal 180 degrees. So the angle relationship, they are supplementary. I'm using abbreviations because I'm using my finger to draw. So right here is, we want to label down here, we want to label the diagram with expressions that describe it. It's already done for us. And write an equation that models the angle relationship to x. Well, here's the situation. At 2x's plus 1x's equals 180 degrees. So we're going to combine these two x's to say we have 3x's, and 3x's is equal to 180. So what would x be? Well, once we divide by 3, we'll get x is equal to 60. So that this angle up here is 60. The angle over here, the angle 2x, is twice that. So that's 120. And that we found the acute angle here, which is what they're asked for right here. Acute angle is 60 degrees, and the obtuse angle is 120 degrees. Okay, it's the last problem I'm going to present to you guys, and it has to do with two angles that have a ratio of 2 to 3, and the first thing we want to do is look at that box right there. And if you remember, that means it's a 90-degree angle. So the two angles, if they're 90 degrees, the two angles are complementary because they add up to 90 degrees. Well, with that in mind, we can set up an equation. We have one angle is 2x, the other angle is 3x's, and both those add up to 90 degrees. Well, just like before, we're going to add our x's. So the 5x's is equal to 90. Once you do the division, you'll solve for x. And to figure out the two of them, you'll take x and you multiply it by 2 for this angle. And then you'll take x and multiply it by 3 for this angle.